Hello, this is the Speak for the Handicapped application for the iPhone. In this tutorial, you will be given the how to use screen-by-screen information for using this application. So let's get started. To start this tutorial, I'd like to give you an overview of the reason why this application was designed. In this country, there are about 3 million people in the United States alone, not counting outside the US, that have difficulty speaking or communicating with people because they cannot vocalize the information that they're trying to tell people. And what this particular application does is it gives you the opportunity to learn how to manage and get information or to impart information to people when you cannot speak it. This application was designed to help the handicapped or the vocally handicapped. So let's look at what we got here. To start with, the application has a table. Now, when you receive the application, it's not going to have all of these different things that I've included in here, but what you're going to have is a bunch of empty records. And in the empty records, you're going to be adding a category, which is this line here, and a text to speak. And this is a short part of the text to speech. It may be longer, but basically, for example, in this one, coffee, I would like a cup of coffee with cream and sugar, is something that can be spoken by the computer or by your iPhone in this case. So what you're doing is you're basically providing a category and a text, and that text is being spoken by your iPhone. So let's start out by looking at the application from the standpoint of usage. What you want to do when you start out is you're adding new records. You would use the plus over here to create a brand new blank record. If you're searching in this screen and you already have records in it, you would basically tap into the area here and bring up the keyboard. Now I'm doing this on the desktop, so I'm going to bring down the keyboard and I'm going to toggle it in, and now you'll see that the keyboard is in so you can see what you're going to be able to add. Now in this case, what I want to do is I want to put a phrase or a word in there that is included in the category. Now in this case, I'm going to take milk. And you have to be aware that anytime you're looking through these records, the first word is capitalized, and it is case sensitive when you're doing a search, so you have to capitalize milk. So let's do that. And you'll see when I put it in, if I had milk in there twice but a different word in the next part of it, if I continued, it would also reduce the number of items that are being viewed by whatever the next word or syllable is that I'm adding, so it reduced the amount of things in there. Now you could, in some respects, have hundreds of phrases in your vocabulary that you would like to speak based on the category. So you would pick a category like milk, and then you would go ahead and bring up whatever records are there, and then you would click on the record to take it into that particular screen. Now when you're in the screen, you would have the ability to see category, and here is the line that was put in there that was created when the record was made new. And in addition to that, you can add notes, and the notes would be spoken either by this link right here, or if you want to speak this one, you would click the text to speech. Now that would sound similar to this.
May I have a glass of milk?
Now the default voice is the first one in English. Now you can have French, German, and Spanish also. And the way you do that is you would go ahead and change it, for example, to French. Speak it again.
May I have a glass of milk?
German.
May I have a glass of milk?
Or Spanish.
May I have a glass of milk?
Now, if you're listening and your native language is either French, German, or Spanish, or even English, and it doesn't quite sound like you want it to, what you can do is you go ahead and change this slider and adjust the rate of speech. So if I adjust the rate of speech, first of all, let's listen to it, and then we replay it.
May I have a glass of milk?
Now see how that sounds really kind of slow? If I go ahead and say go to the mid-range and run it again,
May I have a glass of milk?
maybe a little too fast, so I can turn it back down. So this is how you change the rate of speech. Let's go back to English, and I'll leave it at the same zone.
May I have a glass of milk?
It seems to be right on where we want it at that particular level, but you can also hear what it would sound like if you ran it way up.
May I have a glass of milk?
So obviously there is a speed which you can go up depending upon the language that you select that would allow you to speed it up or slow it down to suit your way of listening to it. Now, down at the bottom, you'll see where it says App Support. If you have any questions or need help or support, you would go ahead and click on this. It'll take you to the website for App Support, and there you can go ahead and ask questions in the support area because it's going to take you directly to it. Or if you're viewing this video, you have used this link over here where you click it, and what it does, both of these will bring up Safari, and you'll be able to watch it on Safari on your iPad or iPhone in this case. And then what you would do is go ahead up above the back button, there'll be a return where you can click on it where it'll bring you back into this application. Down at the bottom, this little thing that keeps on jumping up and down on the screen is trying to get your attention. There are also ads at the bottom of the screen, and if you're interested, all you have to do is click on the ad from iAds that comes up on the screen. Okay, that pretty much covers the standard things in here, but let's go ahead and cover one other thing. If you're going to edit in this screen, for example, and change one of the items that is on the screen, what you want to do is go ahead and edit it and then click on Save Record. And what the Save Record does is it saves any of the changes that you have made. So you want to make sure that you do that before you leave the screen after you've edited. And by clicking the Done button, it'll remove the screen. If you're editing in the Notes area, you will click Hide the Notes, and that will hide the keyboard. The next thing you want to do is if you're done in this area, we're going to go ahead and create a new record, and then we're going to play and show how it works, in addition how you stop it and pause it. So let's go over and make a new record. How do you clear the records and come back? You come up to Clear, you click it, and now all the things that were in the table are now back again. And what you can do is you can go ahead and click it and return or push this up and down in order to see the different things that are in your table. Now, what I want to do is go ahead and create a new record so you can see a blank record. Let's do that next. We're going to move from this screen over to the Add Record screen. And on the Add Record screen, we're going to create a new tutorial. And in this case, I'm going to type in Dr. Pepper. And you might guess what this is about. I want to get a glass of Dr. Pepper, and I want to be able to have some words spoken for me. Say I cannot speak, so I want to get those put in there. So I'm going to say, please may I have a Dr. Pepper. Okay, now that I've got it in there, and I can always test it.
Please may I have a Dr. Pepper.
Then I can go back down here under Notes, and I can add additional information that I want to do in there. I can also just click on it and say Select All, and go ahead and backspace it out. And now I can go ahead and type in, I would like an 8-ounce glass. Now you're going to have to spell out ounce, or it'll go OZ if you put in OZ, and that's not really what you want. So I'm going to say I would like an 8-ounce glass, as opposed to a 12 or a 14 or 16 or 18-ounce glass. Now you can continue adding information down here because it'll do return, and then when you're done you can say done. And now you can go back up here, or if you're in this area still, you can clear the keyboard by clicking here. Now on this screen you'll see when I go to play now, I've got the word pause in here. So if I go ahead and I click on speak,
Please may I have a
I can stop it, or I can replay it,
Dr. Pepper.
or I can just stop it, period. So for example, let's click on the next phrase. I can stop it completely and then replay it over here, for example, if I want to on pause. And again, you can go ahead and adjust your rate of speed any way you need to. Okay, let's go back. Now, before we leave, I have to save the record. Save the record after editing, save, and it returns by itself. Okay, the application is quite simple. The last thing we want to do is to make sure that if we have a record that we want to get rid of, and say, for example, I want to get rid of this record, you slide like you do all the other applications, you go ahead and tap on delete, and it'll remove that record from the table. So you may have records later on that you want to get rid of, and you can remove them in that way. If you have any questions about how to use the application, or you want to express some changes you would like to see made, go ahead and go to the app support, to the developer site, and make your comments, or go to the website itself, comments, and add comments, or you can chat actually online on the website to ask questions or offer your changes that you'd like to see made on this application. Thank you.